What's up, y'all? It's your girl Jay Lee. You're tuned into an episode of Faith Music Fitness. And today I come to you guys with honestly a very heavy heart, but with a message that I feel is necessary to share. Earlier today I was on YouTube, as you know I usually am, and as I was scrolling across, my feed, I ended up finding a couple of videos arbitrarily. I don't even know, I guess it's the algorithm or whatever, but came across these videos that were discussing the degradation of Black women. And I just want to preface, before I get into what I feel, I would first like to preface and say that I don't hate anyone. As a Christian, I believe I genuinely have biblical views of people. I'm not angry with white people. I'm not angry with men. I'm not angry, at large, but I do see a discrepancy in the mistreatment of Black women as a whole. And so this video is not to point fingers or point blame at anyone, but it is definitely to bring to surface some issues, but moreover than bring to surface issues, because we know that they're there. All you have to do is do a YouTube or a Google search and why Black men hate Black women, or what is another example? I mean, you could literally just type up degradation of Black women and you will see tons and tons and tons of videos and commentary and, just negativity toward Black women. And I'm not going to say that it doesn't happen toward Black men, but I think that there are some slight differences. Not at all trying to say that it doesn't matter, but I think that right now I'm trying to bring to light a burden that I personally understand. So with that said, not only am I trying to bring this to light, but more so give a voice to what I think should be part of the solution to help us get through such a negative, I don't even know if I want to say it's time in our world, but such a negative thing that we have to face daily. So I'll first start off by saying that I don't want to name, the YouTuber that I watched, or because I don't want to bring any negative light to anyone. But I will say that it's all over social media. It's TikTok, it's YouTube, it's anywhere you go. There are negative depictions of Black women everywhere, from other races, from Black men, from other Black women, making fun of colorism and texturism and featureism, and all the isms are a part of it. But more specifically, what I want to give light to is this particular event that I, heard about was a young Black woman who ended up in an altercation with several men. It wasn't just Black men, they were men of all races. And those that I found that were really egging the situation on were Black men. And they were using their aggression, they were using their strength to demean as opposed to protect. And that in itself is an entire argument, depending on who you listen to. But what I want to say is that when I'm watching this and I'm seeing the helplessness in her and her reaction, all I saw was anger that lashed out, but it was really disguising her fear. And what I want to say to Black women is this, and this video is specifically for Black women. If other races, if other genders, if men watch this video, this isn't any shade to you. There are other topics that need to be brought to light, but I do feel that this one needs to be addressed. Black women. I'm going to first start off by saying that I can relate. I don't care that my experience or maybe the way that I talk and carry myself might come across different than our archetype and how people say that we are. I have experienced racism. I have experienced prejudice. I've been called out of my name. I have been by both men, by racist people. I have, been just a whole slew of things that have happened. I have, gone through just a large portion of unnecessary experiences. And unfortunately, it can have the impact of maybe shifting the way that you look at the world at large and other people. I've been called the N-word from several white people, and I can see how that would affect your psyche and make you angry with white people. I've been called out of my name by men, and I have been talked about by black men. So I think that the hurt is all around us. And then to add insult to injury, I've had several black women who I feel, have continued to add on to the degradation that I already felt. I want to first start off by saying that I relate. I don't care how different our experiences are, whether maybe you grew up in the hood or maybe you grew up in the suburbs. There are a lot of experiences that we share and that are the same. I'm not saying that my life is your life, and I recognize that there may be certain things that are considered privileges that I may have experienced or not have experienced that you may have. But what I want to say is that I think the DNA and the makeup and the overall experiences of black women as it pertains to degradation are similar. And so I can relate to you. I would say that I am a person that has a lot of confidence, who is held in high esteem, and I think highly of myself. But that is truly only because of my relationship with Christ. Because if it was left up to this world to make me feel validated, I would not. Like, I see every reason why I would not. They make fun of our skin color, whatever variation it is, our hair in its natural form. Then we wear our hair, in non-natural ways, like relaxed or straightened, or which I'm not saying if you straighten your hair that you are no longer natural, nor if you braid it, nor if you wear a weave. But I am saying that any type of alteration to our hair, that gets made fun of. And this is not to be a woe is me kind of moment. What I'm more so saying is that I understand. And if you are looking to this world to fill the void, the brokenness, and the hurt in your heart, it's not going to happen. I don't care how many of us rally and get on social media and say black men need to have our backs and need to validate us. There might be a few that will, but I'm not waiting for the bulk of the majority to say that they love us. If your self-love has to start when someone else says it, it's already too late, because the moment that they take it away because of something you did, they say they love your natural hair, then you wear it in braids or you decide you want to relax it again. Are they going to cease to love you? If you have your hair in a weave, then you let your hair out and you wear your natural hair. Now they don't love you anymore. It has to start with your viewpoint of yourself. And that might sound as cliche as it might be, but the truth of the matter is you have to first ask yourself, am I loving myself to such a degree that whether someone comes in and loves me for what I bring to the table, or if they don't, I still know that I'm worthy? Like, you have to ask yourself that question. And if the answer to that is no, then that's where you need to be focusing and doing the work. You don't need to be asking someone else to validate you before you validate yourself. And anything that they do from that point forward is just an addition to your life. It's not a necessity. The second thing I want to point out is that we really need to be a community with one another. Every time I get an opportunity, I was in the store just today, and I was waiting for an attendant to come and grab something for me. And the woman that was standing right next to me, she happened to be waiting for the same thing that I was waiting for. When they keep things like locked up, so, they have to come in and open it up and whatnot. So I'm standing there, and as we're both waiting, it was kind of an awkward moment where it's like, all right, we're both obviously waiting for the same thing. I'm not going to not acknowledge you, because I'm not that type. Like, if I see you, I'm going to acknowledge you, especially if you're a black woman. I really want to make my emphasis on trying to reach out to you and ask me why. The reason for that is because I know what it feels like to walk around and feel like, it's awkward sometimes with black men. They may or may not be liking you. So they may or may not have a positive interaction. I'm not asking you to hit on me, but just even to say, oh, hey, how you doing? That may or may not happen. So I get what it feels like to be overlooked by them. I get what it feels like to be overlooked by white people, because Maybe they don't like us. Some of them, I'm not saying all. And then, you know, so I think, and then when we're around other Black women, it's also like, what kind of Black woman is she? Is she the hood Black woman? Is she the bougie Black woman? Is she, based on what she's wearing or how she's dressed herself today, does she look like she would, you know, judge me? She sizing me up? All of that comes along with not only womanhood, because I think a lot of women do that regardless, but it's compiled even more. Then if you have a woman who's light skinned and then you have a woman who's dark skinned, now there's that to add insult to injury. Then it's like, if you have natural hair, is she judging me and thinking that I'm a Black Panther because I have natural hair? But she's, you know what I mean? So it just, there's so many complicated layers to the interactions in public. And so anytime I get the opportunity, I try and extend like a, hey, how are you doing? Genuinely, how are you doing? Because if you want to sit and make this a 20-minute conversation and you want to break down and tell me, I'm serious. Like, I'm not that person that's going to ask you how you're doing and then not mean it. I mean that. If I'm asking you, I mean that. And if you just start getting into it and you start talking about, you know, you feel comfortable and you feel led. I've had several people. Some people say that, you know, maybe it's because I'm an empath or whatever. I don't know. But I've had several people over the years, the course of, you know, the last couple years, who just, like, I meet them and then they just start going on and talking to me about deep things in their past. And I met them 3 minutes ago, you know. So, and I understand that not everyone is that way. I'm not asking you to have 20-minute, 30-minute sessions with your fellow sisters when, you know, you're on a time schedule or whatnot. But what I am saying is that it's necessary, I think, for us to reach out to one another. So anyways, I'm in Walmart and she's standing there, I'm standing there. Long story short, I said, hey, how you doing? Oh no, actually, I'm sorry. I started off and I asked her, I told her her natural hair was pretty. I could tell she had just gone natural and her hair was, you know, shorter. But I really liked her curl pattern. And I don't give compliments that I don't mean. If I don't like your shirt, I'm not gonna be like, oh, your shirt's cute. I'm gonna look for either something else or I'm just not gonna say it. So I thought her natural hair was really pretty. And like I said, I liked her curl pattern. I don't know if she did twist out or if it was just, you know, hey, wash and go, and that was what it was. But I could tell right after that she opened up and she was like, thank you, yours is really pretty too. Which, by the way, I'm not feeling it today, but you know, that's neither here nor there. So, but I told her, or she ended up saying that she liked my hair. And from that point, I just started in the conversation. And I said, well, how are you today? Oh, I'm good. And I guess we're both waiting for the same thing. But I guess my point is I walked away from that conversation. We, you know, didn't exchange phone numbers or Facebooks and whatnot. We're not like best friends now. But the fact of the matter is now we walked away from a conversation seeing, you know what? I needed that. I needed to uplift her, and I hope that one day someone will see me and uplift me too. And I'm not doing it so that someone will do it back toward me. I'm doing it because whether you're young, whether you're old, I don't care. I know what it's like out here for Black women. I cannot speak for white women. I cannot speak for Hispanic women. I obviously have a heart and a love for empowering women. And I actually, it was funny, as I was walking into the store today, one of the first shirts that I saw said, empowered women empower women. And I would really consider myself an empowered woman. I'm consistently being empowered with, you know, I'm not all the way there, but with what I have learned, with how I have grown. I'm not the type, I don't want to hold it to myself. This has to be shared with somebody else. And so whether it's joy, whether it's self-love, and I love myself enough to compliment you. How many of you can say that you love yourself enough, that you're not uncomfortable, that you're not threatened to compliment someone else's beauty, even on a day where you're not looking top notch? Can you genuinely say, you know what, girl, you look nice today. I like your hair, or I like your makeup, whatever. And then just walk away and not have to, you know, feel uncomfortable or threatened. You know, that is so important to share. And so it's not like this, oh, mission save the world, But what it is that I walked away knowing that I encouraged and I empowered another woman. And specifically a woman that I feel like doesn't have to go far to find herself degraded. It doesn't take long for her to see some image of herself being overly sexualized. It doesn't take long for her to see someone tell her that she's ugly. It doesn't take long for her to see an image of herself where someone says that black women are the scum of the earth. That happens. She sees that that's in her psyche every day. Whether you were purposefully meditating on those things or you just happen to stumble upon it, that happens every single day. And I'm saying that as a black woman. It doesn't matter what day I log on to YouTube, Facebook, or otherwise. Guess what I see? Somebody somewhere has a negative comment to say about a black woman. So if I can be the one that crossed your path and had something positive to say, no strings attached, and just walk away. To me, that is one of the first steps toward empowering one another. And then who knows, you might go and you might spark up a conversation with another black woman just to let her know, I see you. Just to let you know, girl, I'm right there with you. I see you. We're both over here waiting for edge control. I see you. Other people might not understand it. They might laugh at the fact that you use a toothbrush, but girl, I see you. That's a sisterhood. And I think that what we as black women really need to do is start building up that sisterhood. I don't care what her color is, because we come in a lot of different shades. I don't care what her hair texture is, because God was so amazing enough that he said, no, let me mix this curl and then that curl, and then I'm going to do just whatever God decided to do. He was so good that he said, you know what? No, they're not all going to look the same. They're all going to be black women under this umbrella, but I want them to all have a different curl pattern. I want them to all have different skin colors, and they all are an image and a reflection of me. The third thing that I think is so important, and this is probably the most important of all, obviously, if you watch any of my other videos, or if I haven't said it earlier in this video, I am a Christian. And so, and I don't mean to pretend Christian, like we're, oh yeah, I go to church every Easter and that's it. I'm not trying to brag. I have a relationship with the Lord. And with that, that's where my strength, that's where my security comes from. Yes, I have days where I'm like, ooh, this hair, or ooh, this skin, or whatever. But I believe that God didn't make a mistake when he made me. I really believe that. Whether it was how I was conceptualized or how, my life came about, I am not a mistake. It's not a mistake for me to be me. It is not a mistake. I don't need to go and get skin bleaching on my skin. I don't need that. I guess if you wanted to relax your hair, cool. But you don't need that just to be beautiful. God did not make a mistake when he made you. And I hope that if you don't walk away with anything else, you'll know that God did not make a mistake. Yeah, you've been given a lot in life. That is for sure. Maybe more than some, maybe less than others, who knows. But you've been given a lot in life. But even with that, God built within you a strength. And I don't mean strength in the sense of, burly and strong and yelling. To me, that doesn't show strength. I don't think that that's what that is, which I'll get to when I get to the third point. But I think that there's a natural strength in all black women. If for some reason, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's been through our ancestry, them going through slavery and all of the unimaginable acts that they went through. I don't know if it's just something in our DNA, but there is a certain level of strength to us. It's like this poise. And I encourage you today, do not give up your poise because of some boys. I'm serious. If I could say that again, do not give up your poise because of some boys that want to call you out of your name, that want to tell you you're not beautiful. Don't lose yourself over them, because for one, the same way God made them, God made you. And so I don't want you to for a second think that, oh my gosh, he's the end all be all and I'm not beautiful because he said I wasn't. No, God said that you were from the beginning. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I'm not saying that to like chalk you up. I'm being serious. If you think that God designed you for no reason, that he made you uniquely how he made you for no reason. Like, I want God to get glory out of my natural hair. I want God to get glory out of my complexion or out of my womanhood. I don't want to change that up to try and be somebody else. I am me, and he gets glory out of me being who he created me to be. Anyways, I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole with that because I just feel so passionate about this. But this video is getting longer, so let me hurry it up and finish with this last point. And the last point is that when it comes to how you conduct yourself, that is the key. You need not go out in public and degrade yourself. Do not prove them right. That is, to me, as a Black woman, that is my ultimate and absolute defense. I don't have to sit there and defend myself. I don't have to sit there and convince men that already have this negative notion in their mind, or white people who think that I'm unintelligent. I don't need to convince you that I'm smart. I don't need to convince you that I'm beautiful. I don't need to convince you that I'm worth it. And I don't need to convince you that I'm worthy of love. I don't need to do any of that. So whether you are in a relationship and you're trying to convince him that you're worth it, or you want to be noticed by men that you feel like, don't see that you're worth it. If you are at a job that doesn't take you seriously and they don't see that you're worth it. If you are around other people, you feel like you need to prove yourself that I fit in and listen, you're wasting your time and your energy and your influence and your shine. Walk away, girlfriend. Seriously, walk away. You do not need to prove yourself. You need to be yourself. You need to find yourself, and you need to heal yourself. If you are hurting, go heal. If you don't know who you are, go find yourself. But you do not need to prove yourself to someone else. So whether that's getting loud and being in somebody's face and yelling at them to prove that you're tough, that's not toughness. Walk away. It takes more self-control to walk away than it does to ruin your entire reputation. Do not. I guess I said that earlier, but this is the second part. If you get nothing else from this, please know this. You don't need to prove yourself. You need to just work on being the best version of yourself. You're going to have some people that are going to hate. You're going to have people that come in with preconceived notions all the time. But you know what stuns people when they talk to me? Whether it be white people who, felt like because I'm Black that I can't be intelligent. You know what surprises them? That they ask me like, how many kids do you have? Why would you automatically assume I have kids? Now, I'm not saying if you do that, there's anything wrong with that. I obviously don't encourage you that if a man has not put a ring on your finger and become your husband, I'm not just talking about engaged. If a man has not become your husband, I don't encourage you to go and have children with him. But that is a whole nother video. But the automatic assumptions that I have children out of wedlock, the automatic assumptions that they're surprised at the vernacular that I choose to use or the way that I carry myself. It surprises some people. I'm not trying to be bougie. I'm not trying to act like I'm better than. I feel like over the years, the Lord has truly made me to be more of a humble person. But what I am saying is this: don't prove them right. Let them have every negative perception of you. And you just be quiet. You just be meek. You keep your head down. You do what you got to do. You know what? They could think all day long that you're broke. But girl, you can look broke, but have some money in the bank. And I encourage you to not look broke. Okay? Like I said, I'm all over the place because I just feel this so strong. Like I've had so many people think and feel negative things towards me. And I know. When you walk into a room and someone automatically prejudges you. It happens. It happens. They're like, yep, she's going to be the late one. That one's going to be the loudmouth one. And be surprised when they find that I'm actually the most compliant. I'm not telling you to be anyone's fool. And I'm not telling you to just sit back and absorb abuse. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying your power is actually improving them wrong. So don't get loud with them. Don't start trying to walk around and talk about what your worth is. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your life. Go be the best you. Go find who you are. Go get healed. Go get a relationship with your maker. Have a relationship with Jesus Christ and let him heal you. Then come back. And guess what? They're going to be quiet as a church mouse. They're not going to have anything to say other than, wow, look at her. She is beautiful. And even those, like the men out there that, you know, oh, I hate black women, they're ugly, this, that, or the other, they won't know what to say when they see you. They'll just kind of look. And you'll know that they're attracted to you. But you prove them wrong. Because guess what? They think that every black woman is loud. They think that every black woman is unintelligent. But you prove them wrong. Because you weren't concerned with proving them wrong. You were concerned with proving yourself right. So I encourage you today to do that. Ladies, we need to uplift one another. We need to stop being so concerned what other people are saying to us, because it's not them that are going to lift us up. And I hope that we will lift each other up. But if you're waiting for an outside source to do it, it's not going to happen. And you need to get back to right relationship with your maker so that you don't have to prove yourself to anyone else. I hope that this isn't so all over the place. I did this with, no editing. I don't ever edit videos, but I'm hoping that it wasn't so all over the place that you couldn't get the message. But I'm really, really hoping that this encourages someone. And yeah, that's all I have to say before I keep, going on, because I could talk about this for forever. But until the next time, peace out.